Temptation?
That right there, that's what I'm talking about. You
So,
said the key word,
Temptation,
temptations.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't shut them down.
Okay, all right. So did you just ask me what's this right here that's playing?
Yeah, who is this again?
Are you
Grandmaster,
kidding?
who is it?
That's
not
no.
good.
Listen, we're gonna have to take your card away from you. Y'all old, I'm not old.
We're gonna have to take your card away from you, for real.
I mean, you can't take a card away from a rookie. I mean,
Oh,
what are you gonna do?
yeah, listen.
Y'all are the veterans, I'm the rookie.
And listen, everybody should know that this right here, he's like the godfather of rap. I mean, it's Curtis Blow. Come on. You gotta know who this is.
Is that from the 80s?
Oh,
Or 70s?
listen, we're gonna have to put you in timeout. We're gonna put you in the corner and put you on timeout.
I'm like him, what's his name?
Whoa.
Grandmaster from Houdini. What's his name that came?
Grandmaster D?
Grandmaster D.
All I remember is his green eyes and his face. I don't know nothing else.
Lord,
Grandmaster D, salute.
listen, we're gonna have to put you in a class. We're gonna have to educate you and get you right.
'Cause I have stuff that you guys don't have, so we have to educate each other.
So what is that? What do you have? What you mean the new music?
Yeah, I be coming in here sometimes saying something, you be like, what's that? No, I'm not nothing about that.
But listen, the new music, right? It's kind of like our parents, right? When rap came on the scene, and our parents was like, that's not music, right? And you know they liked their music, and we like our music.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is this, right? As old as you are, I don't understand. I think the problem is, right? I think the problem is you don't want to grow up.
No, you're old as dirt.
So
and you stay
you're
stuck in the
old, right? You're old, but you're still trying to stay young. You keep the grays hidden behind the hair, and I see what you're trying to adjust. You gonna hang out.
You ain't gonna be picking out my grades.
I mean, listen. I swear, you still cute. You still, you know.
And I don't look my age.
You exactly.
And
you
I ain't
still
looking
look
it.
young and vibrant and all, right?
Mhm.
And so you mix right in well with the kids, you know, because
Yeah,
you know the lingo and and all of that. I'm not up on that. I don't, you know. So
I mean, you look like you could be there.
no, I can never be there. I don't want to be there. I know. Listen, I know my place. And I'm not trying to run with the youngsters. I'm cool where I'm at.
You're old
I
as
rock
dirt,
with
but you
the
don't
old
look.
folks. Listen, I
You
rock
don't
with
look
the
like you're
old
old
folks.
as dirt. People that are old as dirt don't wear Adidas sweatsuits.
Look, listen.
You look like one of the dudes, like one of the guys.
Nah, I'm not. I don't want to be one of the guys.
Well, you're
I want to be.
right.
I want to be one of the guys. I want to be one of the guys that the guys look up to.
Okay, so come
That's
in here,
right.
come in here with your button up in your shoes like some guys do. We'll look at you like the guys.
I still got to be able to reach the guys, though.
Right.
You understand? I got to be able to relate to the guys. So I do. I make it right, you know. So listen, we got guests in the studios today, and I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to say make the wrong introduction. So I'm gonna ask for you, my brother, to introduce yourself and the religion, and just give me a brief understanding of what it means, what it's all about.
So my name is Jamal.
Okay.
Just keep it short like that, Jamal.
Welcome, Jamal.
Thank you. We don't really focus too much on religion.
Okay.
I kind of like to take the Malcolm X approach where your religion is between you and your God.
Okay.
But what we do teach is the difference between dogma and religion. So we'll teach you the differences, but we won't tell you which religion to worship, right? We mainly focus on civics. So everything that's dealing with law or legal matters as it relates to our people, and that's how we try to reach our people. Because our people always going through some BS with the system, whatever it may be. So we try to focus on law and civics to reach our people that way. Because I have never seen any one of our leaders approach our people in that manner. You know, most of our leaders talk about religion, which has gotten us nowhere for, I'm only 27, and I've seen that it's gotten us nowhere. And then any one of our so-called politicians, they're either in with the system and they never talk against it because they can't talk against it. So that's what we do. Our organization is called Rise of the Moors. We have a website, riseofthemoors.org. We've gotten several cases dismissed for the benefit of our people, and we actually have a lot of federal cases open right now for our people. You want to say something?
No, I was just gonna talk about how you had some of those cases that you have gotten dismissed posted up on the website.
Oh yeah, riseofthemoors.org. If you click on riseofthemoors.org, go to public information, and you'll see a lot of the cases that we got dismissed. One of those cases was, we was dealing with a woman. She was charged with obtaining money under false pretenses. And since we do teach the Constitution, we approached that case with the Constitution. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution says money is only gold and silver coins. Now, during this time, she's a single mother, right? She has multiple children, and she had gotten laid off at her job because of these alleged charges. So we approached the situation in a legal manner, not marching and praying and begging and say, oh, they're being racist. No, we said, according to the Constitution, money's only gold and silver coin and not paper money that's in our pocket. That's called Federal Reserve notes. Long story short, that case got dismissed because in order for a crime to exist, there must be an injured party, and for the simple fact that paper, that stuff that we have in our wallet, is not money.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure, I understand.
Yeah.
So she was charged with receiving money
Under false pretenses.
under false pretense. What exactly does that mean?
Basically, fraud.
Okay, all right. So when you challenged that and said, well, she didn't receive money under false pretense because money is gold and silver.
Yep.
And you brought that into court.
And we said, if she stole money from someone, where are they? Because if you stole money from me and I'm bringing you to court, I'm going to show up, right?
Right.
Right?
Of course.
So in the Constitution, it states that you have the right to face your accuser.
Right.
Which 99% of the time, and I've been to court a lot, when our people are up there, they're not facing their accuser. Which means no one's bringing charges against them. You understand what I'm
They're
saying?
saying it's the state, yet there's no one from the state sitting up there saying, these are the charges that we're charging you with.
But they'll have the prosecutor. So now you have to ask the prosecutor, where's your contract with the injured party stating that you can represent this injured party? Where's the power of attorney? Because now you're dealing with a third party, which third parties can't give you facts that happened because they weren't even there. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Gotcha.
all of that is dealing with the Constitution. The right to face your accuser and the fact that paper is not money, which is what some people call them the elite. You know, we have this argument of so-called white supremacy, but those who we think that benefit from white supremacy, they're the ones that actually benefit from this system, but it's not necessarily white supremacy. It's genocide intermixed into the United States system. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
And also, she keeps showing me right here, this is a bill introduced to the floor of Congress, 2018, House Resolution 5404. I got this from the Library of Congress. I know there's a camera in here, but for those listeners who aren't seeing it online.
Hold it up, take a thing.
Oh, right here. This is from the Library of Congress. This is the proceedings, House Resolution 5404, sealed from the Library of Congress. So this isn't my opinion that I'm telling you paper's not money. This is what the United States Congress said. This is March 22nd, 2018. The United States, so this is from Congress. The United States dollar has lost 30% of its purchasing power since the year 2000 and 96% of its purchasing power since the end of the gold standard in 1913. So if you
It's
have
paper
$1,
ink.
you only have 4%.
Right.
Because it's not backed by anything. You understand what I'm saying? Which,
I'm confused. You
Okay.
said if I have $1, if I got a dollar bill,
yep,
it's only worth what?
4%.
4%. So that dollar is only worth 4
Paper and
cents.
ink. It's only worth paper and ink.
Okay.
And that's Congress said that. Because
Okay.
remember, in the Constitution, only money is gold and silver. That's it. That's the only thing of value. So if I just start printing Jamal dollars, it's not backed by anything, right? So if I'm the only one that can print it, I'm the only one that can basically succeed based on this monetary system. And since you can't print it, and you have to come to one of my people to work for it, I basically own your life. Because now you got to pay your bills in Jamal dollars. You got to buy your food in Jamal dollars, and I'm the only one that prints it.
This is Jamal.
Not me, I'm Jamal.
Oh,
But
Jamal.
I'm saying,
Okay.
I'm just trying to relate it to how it would benefit me personally,
Okay.
as opposed to, because it's really the United States and the United States Treasury and the Federal Reserve Bank that benefits from it. But I'm trying to bring it down to a personal level so you can see how that's not a good thing.
Okay. So considering that paper money is what's being used around the world,
Yeah,
right, and not gold and silver,
yeah.
right?
So-
and you're saying that the paper money is not worth anything.
Yeah.
It's gold and silver that's worth anything. Do you use gold and silver when you purchase things?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Because, like you said, the United States dollar is dominating the planet. But it's dominating it through war. It's not because it's a powerful money and it's good. They're literally at war with every country. And people like Gaddafi were trying to get away from that, which is why they murdered him. And places like Turkey and China and Venezuela, they're all trying to get away from that paper monetary system, which actually the vice president of Venezuela recently did a speech at the UN talking about how the United States uses banks instead of bombs as the modern day terrorism. Because they're controlling countries with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not like, well, yeah, you know, the United States dollar is the strongest, most powerful currency, but why is that? Because they're at war with everyone. You know, it's not like it's a fair and equitable system. It's literally like state property, Beanie Siegel, get down or lay down. That's basically how they're speaking to the world.
Right.
You know? So speaking of gold and silver, that brings back equity, that brings back fairness into the market, meaning into the hands of the people, which when you read House Resolution 5404, that's what Congress was talking about. They're talking about dissolving the Democratic Party, which has been injuring our people since its inception in 1861. But you know.
And what about the HR, I believe it's 19?
Oh, 25?
HR 25, yes.
Oh yeah,
From
HR, you got it?
2019.
Can you find it? This is interesting because a lot of people will see what we say, excuse me, and say, well, we're making it up and we're trying to get people to commit tax fraud and tax evasion and blah, 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 blah. But there's actually laws of the United States that tell you that taxes are voluntary. And for all the listeners, just Google the IRS commissioner states that taxes are voluntary, right? Because most people think that you have to pay taxes. You're required to pay taxes. If you don't, you go to jail, right?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Because people have gone to jail.
Yeah.
For tax evasion.
Yep.
So how if paying taxes is voluntary, how is it that people have gone to jail for not paying taxes? What's his name? Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. So
He went to jail for not paying
because
taxes.
we have to get into the details of it, right? Because as an example, if you work for someone and you sign a W-4, you're agreeing to pay taxes. But if you sign the W-4V, which V means voluntary, and you cross out, I do not want withholdings to be taken from my paycheck, you're not agreeing. So if you agree and then you stop doing it, now you're evading taxes. But if you never agree, you're not evading.
So there's such form as a W-4V.
Yep,
Yes,
from
on
the
the
IRS
IRS
website.
website.
So it's not even like I made this piece of, Google it. Google it.
Okay.
That's
So-
the
so-
secret stuff that they don't tell us.
Of
We
course.
have to find out on our own.
So this right here
I'm just saying while you talk, I'm gonna go
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please do.
W-4.
Always,
Just Google it.
always check what I say.
Voluntary stuff.
Yeah, always check what I say. Always. Right, so this is from the Library of Congress. This is the Fair Tax Act of 2019. This was actually entered into the floor of Congress the day the 116th Congress convened. So the first day, this is one of the first things on their table, which I did a little more research, and this was actually introduced to Congress in 2009. So this issue's been going on since 2009, and our people don't even know about it, right? So this is called the Fair Tax Act of 2019. And look, all these representatives within Congress that know about this.
Wow.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me just pause for a minute. I just pulled up the W-4V.
And what does it say right on it?
It's voluntary
Voluntary.
withholding request.
There you go.
I've gotten a job in the state of Rhode Island under, what's called a free national name. I don't have to disclose a social security number. I don't pay taxes. So any state and federal tax, I'm withheld, and anybody can do that as long as you know what you're doing and you know how to fill out paperwork.
So now let's talk more about taxes, right?
Okay.
So this is a bill to promote freedom, fairness, and economic opportunity by repealing the income tax and other taxes, abolishing the Internal Revenue Service,
The IRS.
abolishing it, right? And enacting a national sales tax to be administered primarily by the states, right? So be enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled. Section 1.
This is from 2019, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, this is this year. Right, so let's go to section 2. Congressional findings, meaning this is what Congress is telling you, which is the legislative body of the United States. Meaning no one can go against them. No, I know what you're saying, but for those who don't know,
Right.
we think that, they're legitimate people. This is what your quote unquote legitimate people are telling you, right? Findings relating to federal income tax. Congress finds the federal income tax, 1, retards economic growth and has reduced the standard of living of the American public. But they'll tell you on the news, oh, it's the Mexicans coming and stealing jobs. Oh, it's these people stealing jobs. When they just admitted to you that by you paying federal income tax, they're destroying your jobs. Them. So now you start to see, oh, it's systematic. So since the W-4 is something you agree to and it's voluntary, didn't Kanye West say slavery's a choice? Well, didn't you just agree by signing that W-4? Because you didn't know about the W-4V?
That's why he said that. And people get mad that he said
Yep.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just like people got mad when Trump said, I'm not going to show you my tax return. Why? Because all these people know.
Right.
It's voluntary, right? So what else they say? Impedes the international competitiveness of the United States industry. That's why they keep saying, oh, we gotta bring jobs back into this country. That's why most things are made in China. Because they're destroying people's lives here, right? What else they say? Reduces savings and investment in the United States by taxing income multiple times. Slows the capital formation necessary for real wages to steadily increase. What else? Lowers productivity, that's it. Lowers productivity, doesn't even explain it, just, that's what it is. But they ain't
He
got
said that's in the Constitution.
No, this is from Congress. Congress is telling you that this is what they're doing. Right? It imposes unacceptable and unnecessary administrative and compliance costs on individual and business taxpayers. Number 7 is unfair and inequitable, which just means unfair. So they're telling you by you paying income taxes to the United States is unfair. Now, what person in their right mind would do something that's not unfair? Right? Let's just skip some of this. Oh, hides the true cost of government by embedding taxes in the cost of everything Americans buy. Sales tax, excise tax, or excise car tax, right, on the car.
Everything in Massachusetts.
Everything, right? What else?
The new pink tax.
It is not being complied with at satisfactory levels and therefore raises the tax burden on law-abiding citizens. So people like Donald Trump who know that taxes are voluntary, which you just verified from the IRS website, that he don't have to pay. So now the tax burden is getting put on the lower people,
Right.
meaning us, because we think, oh, Wesley Snipes went to jail, so let me not go to jail for not paying taxes. So now it's targeting us, and they'll admit that right here, watch. Findings related to federal payroll taxes, Congress finds further that the Social Security and Medicare payroll taxes and self-employment taxes raises the cost of employment, destroys jobs, and causes unemployment, and have a disproportionately adverse impact on lower income Americans. Who are they talking about?
Us. That's crazy.
Okay. All right.
So your so-called beloved congressmen and women, it doesn't matter what their so-called religion is, it don't matter what their so-called skin tone is,
Right.
they know this. Because this gets introduced to the floor of Congress, they can't not know it.
Okay.
And this topic
saying?
has come up multiple times over the last
Yeah,
years.
like I said, this is from 2019, but this same bill was introduced in 2009 as well. Right?
So let me ask you,
Yeah.
so what do you consider or call your organization? I know you have your website, Rise of the Moors. You
Yeah.
said it's not a religious thing.
It's a civic organization.
It's a civic organization.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we teach
All right.
about law, civics,
All right.
how government's supposed to be, constitution, treaties, things like that.
When did the Moors come into when did it begin?
So, well, there is no, that's like asking when the universe started, but it was revitalized around 1913 through Noble Drew Ali. That's when the first, he had the old Canaanite temple in Newark, New Jersey in 1913. It was a civic organization. Then he adopted the name the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, which became largely religious because they started teaching our people the difference, like I said before, between dogma and religion. And then they adopted its corporate name in 1929 or 1928, if I'm not mistaken, to the Moorish Science Temple of America. So it's been around for a while. It's just there's literally counterintelligence programs directed at our people to prevent us from getting this information. It's called the Counterintelligence Program, and there's actually a Black Messiah Act where they want to prevent a leader from uniting different of our different militias, different ideologies of our people to come together to actually form an actual revolution against the United States. Now, the reason why I say that is because we're taught that the Dred Scott decision of,
66.
1856.
1856, I
Correct.
think.
Yeah.
The Dred Scott case said that blacks aren't citizens, right? It was like one of the largest slave cases ever in the United States.
7-2.
And then they teach you that to correct that, they created the 14th Amendment, right? Now, most of our people are taught that the 14th Amendment is what makes so-called black people citizens of the so-called United States, right? But what I have right here, so now, how that relates to you is, one, paying taxes. Because the United States rebelled against Britain in 1774 under the guise of no taxation without representation. So since these people don't represent you, you shouldn't be paying taxes to them. So that's how the 14th Amendment affects our people. And I'm not even going into what it is yet. You know, that's just how it affects you politically. Two, that gives them jurisdiction over your physical body, which fuels their prison industrial complex. Because in law, you have three primal issues at law: status, jurisdiction, and venue. Jurisdiction is dealing with over your physical body, the subject matter, whether it be a crime or whatever. and then the venue is the actual location of the court. So as an example, you never see Chinese people at the regular district court wherever you're at, because it's the issue of diversity, meaning they're not citizens of the United States, so they go to federal court. So the reason why that's important is because the 14th Amendment is what we think makes us citizens of the United States, which is why when you go to court, you see nothing but our people in there, and so-called poor whites, right? Because they're still dealing with the 14th Amendment. So, and then, of course, an issue that so-called black people don't have to worry about is deportation, right? We have a lot of family members from the islands, South America, etc., and they're facing deportation, dealing with ICE and all that BS, which they're basing your citizenship off the 14th Amendment. So if you're from somewhere else in America, South America, and you come up here where the Europeans are controlling everything under the political banner of the United States, they'll try to deport you if you don't have their citizenship, which they're basing that off the 14th Amendment. So to give you an idea of how important this thing is, which Donald Trump addressed when he first came into office, and I'm not for him or against him, I'm just trying to show you the politics of what they're doing in your face and what you're not seeing, right? So this right here is again from Congressional record. So this isn't my opinion. This isn't our group's quote unquote belief. This is Congressional record, right? This is the proceedings and debates of the 90th Congress. So for those listeners, please write this down. Proceedings and debates of the 90th Congress, first session, volume 113, part 12, June 12, 1967, page 15641. And this is what the Congress says about the 14th Amendment, which is the highest legislative body of the United States, right?
Right.
This is what they say. The 14th Amendment is unconstitutional. Any questions?
Wow.
Which means it's not what? It's not law.
Right.
Right? What else does it say? The purported 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution is and should be held to be ineffective, invalid, null, void, and unconstitutional for the following reasons. Then it goes into detail about how it'll even tell you which states rejected the 14th Amendment. Right? And so let me just read off a quick list of that. Texas rejected the 14th Amendment October 27, 1866. Georgia rejected it. Florida, Alabama, North Carolina, Arkansas, South Carolina, Kentucky.
When you hear about Arkansas and Texas trying to deport so-called Mexicans all the time.
Yeah, but Texas is Mexico. Virginia, Louisiana, Delaware, Maryland, Mississippi, Ohio, New Jersey, and that's the list of the then union.
Basically,
Of
where
the states.
all of our people
Yeah.
came from and
Yeah.
where we're from.
Right.
So now that, in theory, if our people knew this information, we'd be fighting in court saying, well, we're not citizens of the United States, which means you don't have jurisdiction over our people, so don't even talk to us on the state level.
Right.
We should be in federal. But now you're dealing with the concept of Marcus Garvey, when Marcus Garvey said, where is the so-called black man's king? Where's his government? Where's his principalities? Where's his military? Where's his consuls? Where's his ambassadors? Where are all these people that we need? The problem is they're part of the United States, which they just admitted they're targeting your people, and our people already know that. But since they don't have any other political sphere or any other information to gravitate towards, they just go with what they're presented with. Although internally everyone knows something's wrong. They may not know the specificities of it, but everybody knows there's a
Look,
problem.
it comes from not reading the book.
Which is what they say about black people.
Put
If
it
you
in
want to
the
hide
book, it's
something
gonna
from a
hide.
black person, put it in the book.
Let me just back
Go
up.
ahead.
So where you were reading where it said the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional, where does that come from?
This is the Congressional record.
This
So-
is actually from Library of Congress. It costs a pretty penny to even get these documents.
Yeah. So this seal means it's certified from Congress, and it's bonded, meaning I didn't separate any of these pages. So when the librarian from Congress compiled this and it got to me just like this. So I didn't alter it or nothing. This is not my information. So feel free to take a picture if you want.
No, I'm just wondering where the verb is.
Oh yeah, you want me to cite exactly where it's from again?
No, that's cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make a comment about, so prophet just means messenger, but the man who brought all of this information forward, his name was Prophet Noble Ali. He was based out of Chicago. This man had 3,000 declared Moors who knew this information alone in Chicago, never mind across the entirety of what's called the United States of America now. But during Black History Month, they're never taught this information. They're never even taught about who Noble Ali was, the information that he brought to people. Because his biggest thing is most people think that they're black, but they've been branded black. They've been branded black, Native American,
colored, Indian.
Negro, Indian,
Hispanic.
Mexican, Puerto Rican,
Dominican.
right.
So is the organization, is it like exclusive to black people?
No, no, because
Okay.
we're all the same people.
Okay.
Because as an example, the nations of the gods and earth, the 5%ers, and the Nation of Islam, they all have bits and pieces of this information. You understand what I'm saying? And there are truths mixed with falsehood, which keeps people coming. As an example, the Nation of Islam and the 5%ers will both say that the quote-unquote black man is the original man, which is true. The only problem is we're not black. You understand what I'm saying? We have an actual identity. We're Moors.
So you're saying we're all Moors?
Yeah. Actually, there's a dictionary right here. Can someone, where's my bag? No, it's the red one. It's the red dictionary. If you look
Okay,
up,
why are you looking for that? Tell me about the hats. Like, what's the significance of the hats?
yeah, so this is called a fez. If you look up the Egyptians, you'll see them wearing this, a red one. They have a red one and a white one.